Wouldn't you guys agree that women pass on the culture in a family?
Yes.
But should they?
It depends on
like women are
the
women
race.
Just women, Pearl.
What?
Yeah, I'm
just
like,
women?
but should they?
I would say men build societies. Women pass on the culture typically. And,
Yes, they do.
And so by that logic, if the culture's bad, whose fault is it?
The women.
And who's breaking up homes, men
You
or women?
said a whole word right there, Maggie.
So and if we're growing up in a family that doesn't, in a society that doesn't value family, whose fault is it?
No, I think that's women. No, I agree.
They're breaking up the home.
We actually done something on that, and I actually said, if the woman's not right, because she's the first teacher of children, right? So if the woman's not right, the society's not going to be right. Because if you're the first teacher of the children, as women, you spend most of the time with the children. Mm-hmm. So if you are the one that is constantly and consistently around the children, then the child's not going to be right. And the childs are the ones that go out into society
That's
and
sorry.
do that.
I think I actually heard you say it, Pearl, before. That's the thing. In single mother homes, that's when kids do bad. You always need a father figure in the home to be able to coach and teach the child how to be disciplined and accountable in life.
Mm-hmm.
There are some, though, in single mothers. We have these outliers like LeBron James, single mother, family, and even his wife, Savannah James. That's why I brought her up. If you saw a picture of Sierra, and you put a picture of Savannah James at the Oscars, Savannah James, every woman across the board, like people are talking about, that's my wedding dress. Like she's inspired me. She is gold. She is it. She was a single mother very young. She was raised by a single mother, LeBron James. So even if you were raised a single mother, poverty, all your circumstances, look at people who made different choices. If they made other choices, you have no excuse. If somebody else came out of your situation, and let's be honest right now, ladies and gentlemen, everything we're talking about right now is very lightweight and weak. If we look at history and what people have gone through in real struggle and what we call, hardship, and it's not my choice. You look at the society as a whole throughout, all of Europe, Africa, and everywhere. We are living in a time of absolute privilege. And so when we and the accountability that they had to take, it is just, even this conversation is spoiled, and it is privileged, and it is we don't know hard work. We don't know what it's like to really struggle. So we can even have the luxury of having these conversations like this. And it was life and death for a woman to lose her virginity to the streets. Okay, it was life and death. It means you would be you were actually sent to the brothels. Mm-hmm. If you aged out, because you did not marry at a certain age, you were sent to work in the brothel house.
And that's long changed.
Right. And so now it's OnlyFans. And so, and Instagram. So what we're saying is, even these conversations, we really, as a society now, don't know accountability. And if we really want to go there, but overall, I would say, absolutely, the onus is on the women to pass down the culture, teach the young women. Our young women are out of pocket, struggling, because the older women are for the streets, many of them. You have women who are in their 40s still being IG models, getting bussed down and flued out is what they call it, and just doing the most and looking like strippers. What we call even cute outfits today, sexy. This is what, I don't know, I don't say the word, but like women of, ladies of the night would wear in old times. And there's no accountability. You're 45 years old, ma'am, and you're dressing like your daughter doing TikTok and trying to show how thick you are because you want that same 30-year-old man. Because as your daughter can get, you can get the same man. He'll be in, let's say he's 33, you're 40, your daughter's 20, he's 30. You're trying to get that man because you're so lost and so consumed into yourself. You have nothing to teach, but old box.
But I think that's the reason why men are supposed to be the ones leading society.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why, because we, like I said, discussed earlier on, women are not going to give younger women the keys to the game. They're just not going to do it. It's competition. They're not going to do it. Sitting around asking and expecting them to do it, you'll be waiting a long time for them to do that, right? So it's for men to lead society. So when you talk about society, but society's been fragmented and it's been broken, so now men can be women and women can be men, and the whole thing's topsy-turvy and upside down. And so the reason for society being this way is because men aren't allowed to lead. Men like TMR, men like myself, we get called misogynistic. Do you know what I mean? When we try to lead, we get called all types of, oh, if you're broke, then say so. If you're dusty, then say so. If you're gay, then say so. We get shamed for trying to be leaders. Do you get what I'm saying? So the society, going back to who leads society, I would say there's a part of, like I said, those 1% of men, whoever they are, those 1%, the same people that put Andrew Tate in jail, those men are the ones that are trying to cultivate society and show people that if you step out of line, like an Andrew Tate, then they'll try and put you back in check.
Modern women hate accountability so much that they cheered when Kevin Samuels passed away. That's how much that they hate accountability by and large. But here's the thing is that because they are the product of the society that they are raised in, and a lot of them are just hive minds, then I can't really be mad at them at the end of the day. Because if you've been lied to consistently throughout your life or fed the propaganda that sells a product to you, and you believe that because it benefits you, then can I really be mad at you that you fed into the propaganda? There's examples all throughout history where propaganda has led to some of the most major calamities throughout our history and our civilization because people just believed in something unwittingly and unknowingly without questioning it.
But do you guys think that the phrase is actually? Go ahead, Maggie. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, and to your point, MTR, I think what Kevin Samuels did was hold up a mirror, and we had a decision to make. Yes, we had been lied to. Yes, some of us had those modern tendencies, but it was basically a line in the sand, and then you can say, okay, am I going to stick my head back in the sand, la la la, and say I don't want to hear that anymore, and you should go away, bad man, or am I going to say, you know what? Am I really fit, feminine, and friendly?
Right. And those same women who cheered his death, you still lonely. You still need to buy a dog and die alone.
You still overweight.
And you still aren't succeeding. But you've listened. Kevin was a personal friend of mine. He was a personal friend of him, of MTR here. And like we knew he was trying to help. He was the stern father you never had. See, I had a father. My father sounds like Kevin to this day and holds me accountable. But see, if you've never had somebody tell you the truth, like, ma'am, what, like your mindset, your attitude, the way you're moving, like I'm sorry, like and actually there's so much pride and ego in women today because we've been pandered to and told everybody's a queen, everybody's a princess. Everybody is, just because you're born with female anatomy, then that means that you should be treated a certain way. But every day we see in the news there are women who are not fit to even walk the earth, that what they've done to their children, what they've done to other people. There's just a scandal that came out. I won't say the word, but this woman falsely accused several young men of doing something to her. These young men tried to delete themselves because it was absolutely lied. Now, evidence came out recently where she went to the store, bought a hammer, beat herself.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
These young men,
they got it on tape,
if it wasn't for other men coming around and supporting these young men, and they were these older men were canceled because they were trying to support men who did SA, and just because she was a woman, she was believed. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It happened to my mother. That's how I have my oldest sister came from that when she was 14. So of course, I actually come from a family that's happened, but I still know several stories of women who have falsely accused, ruined these young men's lives. And guess what? You know what society says after that? That young woman, this is one woman who was finally held accountable because of her lies and destroying their life. But do you know what happened? Those young men, most of them who have been falsely accused, they lose their scholarship, they lose their jobs, they lose everything. And then there's nothing that's said. If it goes away and it wasn't true, you never hear accountability. You never hear any woman go to jail for falsely accusing those men.
There needs to be a law for it.
Who do you think pushes when you mentioned that women are told that they're queens, they're princesses, they're special? Who do you think pushes that more, men or women?
I think women. Because women influence, like my father never called me a princess. Like I never understood this princess thing. My father called me meatball because I was a fat little baby. And my entire life he used to say, Meaty, you getting a little thick. Let's go to the gym.
So if we blame society in a way, if we blame society, if women are the ones that pass on culture, and women are the ones that are pushing these lies more than men. In a way, when we say society, we're really talking about women.
Yeah.